Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my audience from wherever you are across the world. Once again, here is the corporate perspective, bringing you politics, economics, and financial matters, delving deep into issues that really affect our people, most importantly, in our corporate perspective. And here is my presentation, and my name is Fidelis Musioka. Welcome. And before I continue, I ask us to just hit the subscribe button and let us show support by growing our numbers so that we reach as many people as possible. Now, today, I want to continue where I left about how to approach an interview. My part one was about preparing for the interview, everything that must take place before the real interview. And so today, I want to talk about now what should happen when you enter into the interview room or the building. When you're just entering the building, up to and until you are in the interview room, during the course of the actual interview, what are you supposed to do? What must you do? And this is something that really has made people lose jobs, honestly, because of their temperament, because of their misdemeanor, because of their character, because of how they have been nurtured, because of their lack of emotional intelligence. Intelligence is something that is very important. And emotional intelligence is the most important aspect of a human being. So whether you're looking for a job or you're the one conducting the interviews, whatever you do, whether you're a politician, a doctor, whoever you are, emotional intelligence is very important. Now, worse still, if you don't have it, and you're gonna seek for a job. Now, it may be the thing that makes you lose that job. Now, so what are we supposed to do while we are entering the interview room? So number one, obviously the first person you may encounter is the watchman at the gate or the receptionist. So those are people who are at the lowest level in a company. Mark you, don't miss up. Greet them. Be polite, be kind with them, show your countenance, just be respectful to them. Speak to them, if possible, give them a handshake, and that will save you a lot because they have been placed there to measure the ability of you to interact and how calmly are you in terms of being able to fit in a system. So all the time, just say hi to them, greet them, put on a smile. It is very important because they are measuring what kind of a person you are. In essence, the first person you meet at the gate of the company could be the first interview. People always think that the interview takes place in the room. No, it doesn't. It starts outside. From the minute you enter the building, there could be some guys seated somewhere on CCTVs. They are just watching you, and that is very important. So all the time, be alert. Be a human being. So greet the people you see first, and that will build your confidence as you climb up, and it will keep probably on increasing your chances of securing the job. And number two is that once you've entered there, sometimes you are given forms to fill. It is important that you fill those forms very accurately and very neatly. So just be neat and accurate. Don't just fill in. If they have said use capital letters, please use capital letters. If they have said use small letters, please use small letters. Well punctuated. Very, very important. And fill where you are required to fill. Do not fill in spaces where you're not supposed to fill. Just be careful. Just be neat and make sure that you are accurate. And there are more that we need to talk about. Uh, Once you are in the interview room, now you're meeting the interviewers, greet them, have some rapport, and now put on a smile. Sometimes there are discussions if you are supposed to stand up or sit while you're greeting them, or just after entering the room. But now that's subject to many other things. But I would advise that wait until they tell you, have a seat. All right? So don't just go to the room and just sit down because as if it is your seat. No. Just be respectful, be humble, get in there. As you get in there, uh, greet them, remain standing. In a short while, they will tell you, sit down or have a seat. Do not give yourself a seat. That shows you're rude. That shows actually you're rude. Okay? Something else is that you have to show confidence in the language that you use. And the language that I'm talking about here is not verbal language, not spoken language. It is the unspoken, the non-verbal body language. You must get in there and look like, this guy knows what they have come for. These guys are ready for this job, You have to be very ready. Your body should speak to the interviewers before you utter a word. Body language should convey serious and high level of confidence, That is very important. Extremely necessary. What's the point of going to an interview and then you are cool, you are very calm, you're very docile, it looks like, you don't understand yourself, you are in fear, you're in panic mode. That is unnecessary. And that shows somebody who is not sure of themselves. So you must prepare so that your body language will speak and ooze confidence in that room. In fact, without uttering a word, you should just send a strong word, a strong point to the interviewers and start saying that this is the guy we've been looking for. But when you enter there and these guys are like, these guys are wasting time, as it happens many times, it is not good at all. So be there and let your body language speak for you. And once again, is that maintain eye contact. Once you're in the room, now you don't fear anything. Remember, you've been invited there because you have met the threshold requirements. You are their minimum requirements. Threshold minimum. So you've been invited now to prove yourself, to prove your credentials, and to show them that, you know what, guys, I am the right guy for the job. You are not wrong shortlisting me after all. But you cannot just go there and you hang up your head, you're like this, you're just telling these guys, you know what, guys, I can't fit in this job. That is what you're telling them indirectly. So, eye contact. When they ask you questions, face them and answer the questions. Maintain that eye contact. It also helps in, developing your confidence and looking like you understand and you know what you are saying. Very, very important. So you don't go to an interview room and you're like this, or you're answering questions like this, or you're like this. No, that is immaterial. You will lose that job, right? Now, your responses should be clear and direct. Do not meander. Don't meander. There are people who like meandering. You've been asked a simple question. Tell us what you did between 2010 and 2015, because it seems that it is missing in your CV. Now you start, you start giving stories. No, just be clear and direct with your response. Don't start giving stories or giving excuses. Be clear and be precise. That will help you a lot. It's looking like you're saying the truth. Sometimes you give so many stories, you're lying. Just be direct and tell them, you know what, this is what happened, this is what it is. Now, in an interview, you should speak more through more questions from them. Okay? It is the interviewers who should ask you questions that leads you to talk more. But just don't talk more for one question. They have just asked you one question and then you're giving them verbatim. You're pontificating. No, you'll lose a job. You'll lose that job. So you've seen cases where people advertise for jobs, they give deadlines, but then they re-advertise again because they did not get somebody who they needed. It is because of such cases. So we have to be deliberate. Deliberate. Now, something else is that you need to avoid using poor language or slang. You cannot just go there and you're like, you're using lugha ya mitaani, unless that the job you're asking, you're looking for requires lugha ya mtaani as part of the qualifications. But otherwise, for official capacities, for formal capacities, you cannot afford to use slang or using vulgar language or just poor language, because of your language barrier, because of your language shortcoming. It's not fair. It's not right. You understand? So we have to use the official language. All right? We must be seen to master the language properly. You may not be very fluent in English, but try as much as you can to avoid using slang or poor language, what I'll call lugha ya mitaa, right? Very, very important. And while you speak, be assertive. Command what you speak, but of course, without looking like you're proud or rude, all right? Be assertive. If you give an answer, be assertive, It is that, like, for example, they ask you why you think you're good for the job. You're the most favored candidate or qualified for that job. Just be assertive. Tell them it is because I've been able to accomplish A, B, C, D in my previous, undertakings, or it is because I have acquired more knowledge on this field, A, B, C, D, and that is exactly what in my reviews you required for this particular job. And I'm promising that I can do A, B, C, D given an opportunity, right? So you be assertive, prove to them that you are the guy they have been looking for, all right? And they will definitely, grant you the job. That is very, very important. And now you must show that you show your enthusiasm, show your temerity to do the job. You cannot do a job which you have no energy for, all right? So you must be showing these guys that, what, I got the energy, I got the will, I got the interest in this job, I got the enthusiasm, I have the gusto to undertake this job. That is what you must show them, But you cannot just look like, you just try, it is guesswork for you. No, no. Let them show your enthusiasm. Let them see you really like this guy is here because he is excited about this opportunity and he wants to excel. Very, very important. Very, very important. And as you do so, also avoid being rude. Sometimes you may look very assertive, you may look very confident, but to some people it may look like rudeness. So try as much as you can to show humility. And it does not always matter what you say. What always matters is how you say it. All right? So it is very important that then we find the best language to use so that we speak to the needs and the minds of our people and interviewers. Very important. Very important. And again, we must avoid. Remember when I said that you must speak with assertiveness, be assertive in that job, but avoid looking like you desperate. Anything that is done out of desperation, it's not genuine. Okay? Never ever seek for a job and upon invitation for an interview, you look very desperate for the job. Like, if I don't get this job, guys, I will collapse. My life ends here. No! Don't show desperation. Show confidence. Show interest. Show charisma. Show enthusiasm. Show the gusto, but never be desperate for a job. Because you look cheap. What will happen is that even if they give you the job, they will always take advantage of you because you showed them that you are desperate. In fact, they rescued your life by giving you the job. So therefore, then they can treat you as much as they wishes. Right? So that is very, very important. Never be desperate. Never appear to be begging for a job. Never be there. Because that is what you are qualified to do at that particular time. not because you have nothing else to do. Never be desperate for a job. Never be desperate for the job. Right? In all this, you must demonstrate value through your achievements. So you know, demonstrate that I am adding value to this company. As much as you've come for career advancement, for career growth, fine. But what is your value proposition to the company? Because they are looking for somebody who will help the company grow to the next level. And probably they have tried other people and it has not worked. So it's upon you to prove to these people, to prove to the interviewers that you have value that you will add to your company. Very important. Don't just seek a job because just for the sake of seeking the job. No. Look for a job because you understand the value of the job. That is very important. And we have to always monitor that. Because what do you think? Why are you here? Why are you here? That's a question that we ask you, why are you here? So, umekuja kufanya nini? All right? So, you don't tell them that you see, I saw, I know. Why are you here? Give a complete answer. And that answer should include you showing them your value. What necessitated you to apply for the job? And why you think that the value you carry will be of good impact to the institution, to the organization, to the company in general. Very important, right? It is important that we understand that, because if we don't, then we will be in for a rude shock, right? And avoid distractions while you're there. Some people like taking phone calls all the time. Hello, excuse me. What the hell? What the heck? I said be disciplined. So put your phone on silent mode, or put it off, or put it on flight mode. Don't receive calls while you're in the interview room. At least respect the moment. And that shows your calmness and your level of discipline, and respect to the people. All right? It is important. So don't just be that person who will always be excused for, picking phone calls and answering messages. No, put your phone away from you, even in the bag. If you cannot put it on, if you cannot put it off, then put it on silent mode and leave it in the bag. Let it not be a disturbance for you, so that you focus really on the interview and the interview questions. All right? And now there's a question which people always fail to answer well, about salary expectations. You see, you should never go to an interview without investigating the company policy, the market, market trends, the level of the company. These are things that you must use to know or to measure the salary you expect. Sometimes asking for so much salary can be used to disqualify you, because they will not meet your expectations. There's no need of giving 50,000 as salary to someone who expected 200,000 as salary. They will not deliver because they will be underpaid. And again, when you ask for little salary, it shows that you don't care about the job. You don't understand what you're supposed to do. You don't care about your responsibilities, absolutely. So it is good to do your own assignment. What is the market saying? What is the salary policy for the company? And what is the level of the company? Is it mid-level? Is it an international company? Is it a fast-growing company? Is it a startup? Those are things that, while you get them correct, you'll be able to determine your salary expectations. People just quote salaries kwa sababu ya njaa, because you guys are hungry, because you just think that you have a project that requires you to spend a lot of money, and therefore you just say, I want 500,000, I want 100,000, or because where you've come from, you've been underpaid. You are, getting peanuts. That is where you've got used to, and you've been paid 30,000. Now here is a company that can pay you 100,000, but because of the mentality of where you've come from, you only ask for 40,000 because you think now you get an increment of 10,000. You got it wrong. So do not assume. This question on salary expectations is very, very important, and people must always be keen and thoughtful when giving answers. Don't just give an answer. You have to do some proper researching. That will save you a lot. All right? Now, uh, sometimes you are given an opportunity to ask questions. They will tell you. Now, do you have a question that you want us to answer you, or do you have any question for us concerning anything that we've discussed here? I will advise you, do not ask questions. But if you do, ask questions which are intelligent. All right? You must prepare in advance to write those questions down so that when you get that opportunity, you are able to ask intelligent questions. That really focuses on the nature of your work. Just that. Okay? And the nature of your work. Very important. So do not just ask questions for the sake of asking. You may look stupid and foolish, and you may even ask questions which are out of topic. So do your homework, do your research, do your assignment, ask intelligent questions if you must ask. And finally, before you leave the interview room, just out of your courtesy, out of your goodness, seek clarity on interview timeline so that you know when to expect feedback and how to expect the feedback so that everything is made clear. Some will tell you that if we don't communicate to you after 3 days, you have not succeeded. If you succeed, we will call you as soon as possible. It is good to request that you be given feedback so that you know the areas where you did not do well in case you fail, so that you can improve the next time. It is important. So make that courtesy request. Make that humble request. Don't just demand, but request them to tell you where you did not excel. What exactly denied you the job so that you can improve on it. If you get the job, well and good. And that's the final point. And finally, now I'll bring you what to do after the interview. Yeah? And that is the end of what should happen after entering the building to and until you are inside the interview room up to the end. So those are things which are very important. Please, you can always revise them again and again because they will make a lot of sense to you as you start, going for interviews. Now you must be wiser and better than you've done before. People have missed jobs because of minor issues, just minor issues of, social issues, character issues, things that are avoidable. And I always say that never miss a job because something that you could have worked on early in advance. So take this matter serious, and that is the corporate perspective of what should happen when you enter the building until you exit from the interview room. And I hope you learn. Until next time, my name is Fidelis Musyoka for the corporate perspective. Thank you.